Hey guys, injury lawyer Scott DeSalvo here, making another video for you. And the topic today is, boy, I don't even know what to say as far as what the topic label should be or title should be, but this is what I'll say. I had a lady call me about a fall down case, and she fell going into a business. And like all cases, I encourage people, if they have a question, call a lawyer for sure, right? Because lawyers know the details about how these cases work, and it's better for you to, there might be something about the case or a way to put a case together that you may not be familiar with, but an attorney might be because they have experience doing those kinds of cases. So this involves a fall down case. A lady's going into a business. She tells us there's this huge crack right in front of the door, all that stuff. And I guess the title of the video could be, does your case pass the sniff test, right? The sniff test. In other words, is a jury going to take one look at the case and kind of say, you're out of your mind, right? So in this case, the lady, I always ask when somebody has a fall down case, I always ask them to send me photographs because I need to see what it is that caused them to fall if they have photos, right? Or otherwise I'll go out, like earlier this week, I went out to a place where a lady got hit by a car to take some photos so that we could, put it together, figure out where it happened. So scene investigation and photos is important, but if a client can do it or a injured person can do it for me and then email or text them to me, it makes everything faster, right? So the lady sent me the photos, and it was basically a teeny tiny crack on completely level ground, and looking at all the other surroundings around the area where she fell, there was just no theory of liability that would survive, right? So what a lot of people don't know is when you go to court, if a judge can look at your case and say, based on the facts that you're pleading, there's no way under the law you can win, so I'm going to dismiss your case. That's called either a motion to dismiss or a motion for summary judgment. And it's a fast way for a defendant to get rid of a case that's no good. Not that it's no good. Injuries are real, no matter how they're sustained. It's just that there's no basis under the law to recover for it, which is, unfortunate in a lot of cases. But the idea is, a lot of lawyers get fixated on the legal end of it. Can we meet our burden of proof at trial? In other words, when a lawyer says, can I meet the burden of proof, that means, do I have the legal elements so that the judge won't dismiss the case? Which is great. You have to do that. If a lawyer doesn't do that, they're making a big mistake and they're wasting your time. But there's another part of it that I wish more people would, more lawyers would be aware of, and that is, it's basically the burden of persuasion, or what I like to call the sniff test. And so I had to tell this lady who fell, I'm sorry, there's technically a crack in the sidewalk there, or a crack in the curb where you step up to go into the business, but I think a jury's going to take one look at that and say, we don't think you can sue for that. Now, we may also have a problem with the burden of proof because there's rules about how big a defect has to be in order for you to sue it. And this isn't just limited to fall down cases, it's car crash cases. I had a guy call me yesterday who hit a parked car, but the car was illegally parked, so he wanted to sue the other driver for being in an illegal parking spot. But the other car was parked. So I had to tell him, look, I understand you are coming up with a theory of why you think the other side did something wrong, but if you're driving a car and you hit a parked car, for sure in front of a jury, that's not going to pass the sniff test, right? So the one caution I'll tell you about the sniff test is that it's probably a good idea to talk to a lawyer about a case, because there may be a different way of looking at the case that you haven't considered. So a lot of lawyers are like me, friendly, nice, generous with their time. So probably makes sense for you to talk to a lawyer. The phone calls and the consultations are free. If you don't have a case, or if that lawyer doesn't think you have a case, you walk out of the office or you get off the phone, and it hasn't cost you anything but a few minutes, but you'll have the peace of mind of knowing, what a lawyer thinks about your case. So I guess the moral of the story is, not only do we need the technical legal things to win a case, but in front of a jury or even a judge, the case sort of has to smell. The case has to smell. The case has to pass the sniff test, if that makes sense. So thank you for watching. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you later.